Eric. Welcome in Helsinki, I would say, even though it's on a web stream. Unfortunately, Eric couldn't be present, but at least this way, you will still have the opportunity to address you all, and we will have time for a few questions as well. But first, Eric, the floor is yours. You have about 5 minutes to address all these wonderful local councillors and give a speech about what you are doing as a Green Mayor in Grenoble.
So, hello everybody. I'm really delighted to be with you this morning, even if, of course, it could have been better and...
Eric, sorry, could you adjust the picture a little bit because we're only seeing the top of your head? Thank you.
Better here?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, so yeah, sorry for not being with you physically in the room, but I think it's great for me to be able to exchange it with you this morning. And I would like to say only a few words, and I think after I would prefer to exchange with the room and with all of you who are there. Basically, the message that we would like to give is that I think it's exciting to see that society is somewhere ahead of political speeches, and again, non, mais attends, il y a un décalage. Sorry.
It's okay, continue.
Yes, so I think it's really exciting to see this that society is ahead of political speeches, and I think ahead as well somewhere, even on Green Party's speeches. I think it's really in advance, and somewhere I think our role there is to make sure that we take this advance, we take this cultural evolution, and that we make it real. And that's what we did last week, for instance, in Grenoble, where Grenoble and most of the surrounding cities, 43 surrounding cities, decided to limit driving speed to 30 kilometers. Or on what we see those weeks on mobilization for migrants that are actually coming from the society, much more somewhere from the political area. I think there is a desire to do together, there is a desire to build new collective solutions to overcome all divisions, and for quite a long time already people were looking for new benchmark, and you really feel that it's there now. New guides are arrived, there is new rules popping up, and our role is to contribute to make sure that this is happening. And I think this is really an opportunity for environmentally friendly policies. Everyone somewhere is turning green while remaining at the same time what it was before. So it's not somewhere a new identity removing the old one. I think it's an additional identity. And so we need to deal with that and make sure that we leverage on this new identity popping up to make the energetic transition faster, to make the society change faster. And a good example somewhere of this change and the way that society, even people that would in our mind be very far away from our environmentally policies, I think it's what we see with the Pope and the encyclical that he delivered on ecology, which is just great, and that really make a change in for the one going to churches, because they say, okay, so we knew somewhere this, but we put it away and to keep our old identity, and now I think it's a call to really move forward in this direction. And that's what we see popping up everywhere, and that's where I think that the challenge that we have as European environmental movement is to be in the front of the wave, to make sure that we make forward, we move forward with it, and it's what we try to do in Grenoble. We have in mind to progress with citizens, and we do that with citizen budgets, with budget by area, with participations of citizens, but as well with decisions that are really make a breakthrough in the way we see the society and the way we deliver a message on the way we can change things together. And that's what we did as well by removing advertising on public space. It's really a message that somewhere everyone is happy with that, and it's a collective message that we give to ourselves, saying that yes, we can do drastic change, we can do breakthrough, and we can leverage on this part of our identity that's already understood the required change and the challenge of the 21st century, and making sure that we deal with that and not trying to keep the old way of life. So that's, I think, the key message that I want to deliver to all of you this morning, that somewhere the society proposed a new contract which is based on openness, based on pragmatism, and somewhere a shift in the paradigm that is an end, I think, for all politics, and where for us environmentalists it's key to respond by formulating a good project for today, for tomorrow, but a project that really leverage on this society change and not trying to fight with society. And that's, I think, what we succeed, what we focus on in Grenoble, not to fight with society, but to make sure that we capture how ready it is to change, and that we go fast, and we go with both breakthrough and small changes during the past to make sure that we leverage and that we raise confidence as well in this new future.
Thank you very much, Eric. I think we're all very inspired by what you're doing in Grenoble, and I'm sure that there are some people who might have some questions. So I will try and gather perhaps 2 or 3 questions, and then give the floor back to you. Who wants to ask a question to Eric? There? Yeah.
Bonjour Eric. Pierre Jaffé, Deputy Mayor of the 11th District of Paris. I just read this morning a paper about your proposal for a pact. Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Yes, so maybe we gather a few questions, or?
Yeah, I would just gather 2 or 3 questions and then perhaps do, because otherwise it will be too complicated. Next question. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Nikola Gazdov. I'm from Bulgaria and running for city councillor there. One of the big headlines we got in Bulgaria about Grenoble was removing the city advertisement. And in our country, that seems like a very, very challenging task because of the strong lobby of big advertisement agencies and other interested groups. Can you say a few words about how you managed to achieve that, and what kind of support and what kind of opposition you saw?
Maybe a last question. No? People are still waking up? Okay, Eric, let's just start with those 2.
Yes. So, yes, to answer the first question about the pact proposal that I made a few days ago, that is spreading here in the media, the purpose is that we know that we need to do a lot for energy transition. We know that we need to do a lot to revamp for all buildings, so that it's there, that is really the challenge for environmental change, as well for air pollution, as well for energy consumption, etc. And that's, we know as well that it's there that we do have an area where we can make sure that we grow jobs as well. And at the present time, we are so much in this discussion about how to reduce public expense that somewhere we let on the side all those projects where we do have companies coming up and asking us to do those projects. They have proposals, they have good proposals for to revamp our schools, to revamp our public buildings, to do a lot in this area. And actually we don't do it because the focus at the present time in France, but I think in Europe overall, is to reduce public expense. And so the message that I want to deliver is that the purpose is, the question is not first to reduce public expense and just to fight each other to see if it's government that cope with public expense reduction, or if it is local public sector that do this. Is not the right question. The question is that we know that we have unemployment and we have people that have some skills to do what we need to do. We know that those investments, they have a return on investment, a financial return on investment. Maybe it's 20, 30, 40 years, depending on the state of the current buildings and the work that needs to be done, or for new energy production, actually the overall financial mechanics there. And we know that it's positive as well for environment to do this. So the message is to free up actually investment only for those areas, to say that we can continue to cope with the debate, European debate, and about infrastructure. We can continue to cope with maybe trying to fight about if we need to do schools or not, if we need to do whatever. I would say the current purpose of the debate in Europe about public expense, but let's put aside everything that is related to energy transition, and let's put aside everything that really cope with those three factors, making sure that there is a financial return on investment, even if it's long-term return on investment, that create jobs and that are good for environmental purpose. And for those one, I think we need to put this aside somewhere, the public accounting, to deal with that, to have a third investor that can cope with that can invest in that. That is not the case, at least in France. I don't know all the legal regulation in other European countries, but in France, for instance, here in Grenoble, we could do maybe 3 times more projects, but we are just reaching the policy set by the law, and on our investment capacity, the number of millions of euros that we can invest per year. So we reach the limit, and we have a lot more projects that we could do and that have financial returns. So it's not a problem about our financial, I would say, security for the future. So that's the proposal. I think I was yesterday with the French President, Mr. Hollande, in Montpellier. The purpose was the public sector for housing, and I raised up this proposal again, and I will do it again and again, because I think people don't understand really that we could do much more without putting in danger or financial, and even without changing the debate left, right, or whatever about public expense. And I think in the coming months and coming maybe a couple of years, we will see the investment decreasing a lot, and so when public regulators will see that, I think maybe they will realize that they could change the rules there without taking any risk. Second question was on advertising, and that's where I think society is somewhere ahead on political speeches. Yeah, because somewhere we are all merged, yes, we swim into this advertising environment everywhere we go, and that's where I think the new identity is popping up, because on one side I think most of people are stay the same, meaning they are focusing on consuming new products and so on, and on the other side the same people realize that this race for consumption doesn't make any sense, it doesn't make them happy, and so that's where I think we leverage on this to say, here society somewhere is ready, and what can do political rulers is to change the rule, and in this case with a breakthrough aspect, and everyone is behind us actually. So we decided without any specific debate, and we saw it and we told this before the elections, and when we arrived here, I think we decided to remove advertising, and we have everyone, but really everyone behind us. It's not a question about old people or youth or people from the right side or left or whatever. Everyone is behind us on this, because it changed I think the atmosphere and people realize that yes, we can change the way the system works, meaning that it really it raised the confidence in public action, because there they say, okay, we saw that it was not possible to change this, and somewhere we wanted to change this, but we are not even able to imagine that it was feasible. And it is feasible, and it doesn't change, I would say, or it doesn't degrade our quality of life. It really increases the quality of life, and it makes us focusing more on the sense of our life than just seeing ourselves as a consumer. So to answer maybe in a more accurate way your question, there was first not really lobbies, because there was no debate, I would say, before the decision. We just go and say, okay, we remove advertising in 2 months from now, and that's it. And after we had a lot of criticism, but only from a small share of really the advertising sector, because even the advertising sector somewhere, first they are citizens, so somewhere they do have those two identities as well, one being that they are in this world of consumption, the other one they do realize as well that it doesn't make any sense. And second, they don't want, I think, to raise a public debate on this, because they know that the end of the discussion would be that it reducing advertising everywhere. It's the same thing when we fight for advertising on TV. If you debate about it, you have lobbies, and they try to deal with national politicians to make sure that they can continue advertising. But if you decide, you're sure that, and if you have a public debate or a referendum on this, you know that everyone will choose to remove advertising.
All right, I think that's sadly all we have time for, but I would like to thank you very much, Eric, for being with us, and we're very much looking forward to probably seeing you in Lyon in November for our EGP Council. Let's give him a round of applause.